fans, in this video we will look at the game between Magnus Carlsen with white and Fabiano Caruana with black, played in round 6 of the Sinquefield Cup 2018 in St. Louis. Carlsen played e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, takes, d6, knight f3, takes, knight c3, takes, bishop e7, bishop e3, knight c6. We will also have 8 training questions in this video to help you improve your chess. And in this position, training question number 1, what is white's main move in this position? Okay, it's the knight c3 variation of the Russian defense. And white's main move is to play queen d2 to castle long as quickly as possible, and after bishop e6, long castle, queen d7, king b1, bishop f6, h4 attack, and keep the question open of where this bishop will go. However, Carlsen played bishop c4, immediately committing the bishop on this diagonal, and this is a move that has not been played so often before. Okay, after castle, now queen d2, bishop f5, long castle, queen d7, king b1, rook f8. Training question number 2, what should be white's plan? Okay, we already saw it in the variation earlier. h4, white's plan is to push the pawns. White has castled on the queen side, so black has castled on the king side, so white wants to attack and push the pawns. After bishop f8, h5, h6, training question number 3. White wants to push his pawns on the king side. How can he rearrange his pieces to help this plan? Okay, Carlsen played the beautiful retreating move bishop e2, and the idea is to play knight to h2, another retreating move, and then all the pieces are supporting the pawn push. Very beautiful plan. After bishop g4, knight h2, takes, queen takes, knight e5. Training question number 4. What is black planning with the move knight e5? And what is a useful prophylactic move with white in this position that is also consistent with his plan? Bishop c1. The third retreating move in this game. The idea is that black's idea to play knight to c4, attacking the bishop. White puts the bishop away to safety on c1. The bishop is also protecting the king here, should the rook ever come in here. And it is still performing a dual function of helping in the attack as well. After queen c6, f4, knight c4, queen d3, queen e4, g4, knight e3, rook de1. Training question number 5. White seems not to be afraid of exchanging queens. Why? Okay, we actually see it in the game. Black is happy to exchange queens because white is getting a little bit of an attack here, and the queens off the board, this attack becomes less menacing. But white still doesn't mind exchanging the queens, because look at the position here. The two rooks, the bishop, the pawns here, and the knight, they're all ready to attack, and they are in perfect positions, almost like Karpov would exchange pieces so that his pieces are left in a very good position. Whereas this knight here is attacked, this bishop is a bit passive, and this rook is not participating in the defense. This bishop is also caged in by these two pawns. So that's why white was actually quite happy to exchange queens. It also comes with a little additional benefit of healing the pawn structure. White had a double pawn here, and now he doesn't have that double pawn anymore. Black retreats the knight to d5. And now training question number 6. The rooks face each other on the e file. How can white play for an advantage now? Okay, rook eg1. getting ready to push the pawns, and actually leaving the open e-file to black. And again, this bishop here is protecting the king really nicely, so black doesn't have to fear too much. This bishop is doing a great job of attacking this pawn, of protecting this pawn, protecting the king, and also participating in the attack. So white has no problem yielding the open e-file to black. After rook e6, training question number 7. In this position here, what is white's offensive plan and what is black's defensive plan? Okay, Carlsen played g5 and the offensive plan is now to crack open the position by exchanging pawns. So g5 is aiming to exchange the pawn on h6, or after this exchange, just exchange pawns and open the position on the king. Black's defensive plan, however, is to get as many pieces into the defense as possible and just moving them close into useful squares. So you can see the bishop, the knight, the rook, they're all controlling squares, directly or indirectly, related to these pawn pushes. Carlsen exchanged, and again, trying to keep the position closed and moving pieces into the defense. So this rook maneuver here actually allows to use the rook to defend from the side. Very, very interesting plan. f5, pushing forward the pawns, rook h7, so you see the rook is brought into the defense from the other side. Very interesting defensive maneuver. Strengthening the position with knight to g4. Maybe it was a bit better in this position to play f6 immediately. But now in this position, black has another defensive plan. Training question number 8 and last training question in this video. How can black defend against the threat f6? Okay, Fabi Caruana had a great defensive idea here. King to h8, opening the square for the knight. And now after f6, the knight comes into the defense. And you can see it's like a tortoise, it's like a turtle. Black is defending. And after takes, rook takes, white doesn't really have so much attack anymore. There's not so many pieces left. Carlsen tried bishop to e3, but black simply plays c5 against the plan of bishop d4. And now there's not so much pressure that white can do anymore. Game continued, bishop f4, rook e8, putting the rook on the open file. Knight e3, trying to do something with this hole here. And after exchange of rooks, rook e6, and after the knight dances around, it's of course not good to take here because black would get too much activity. Both players were in heavy time trouble and danced around a little bit to make the time control. And in this position actually repeated moves and the position was drawn. Thanks a lot for watching. It was a very, very interesting, intense game. Carlsen managed to get a great attack out of the Russian defense opening, and Fabi defended great. I hope the 8 training questions will help you improve your game, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here again soon.